Happiness, the greatest gift that I possess.
Ken Dodd had an affinity with Blackpool few top stars could match. Year after year, he packed out the Opera House 3,000 seats twice nightly. Now an exhibition aims to bring a bit of happiness to Doddy fans everywhere. Ken used to fill the Grand Theatre every Sunday night, sometimes shows going on until the early hours. Sean Gorringe is head of operations at the theatre.
It's absolutely fantastic to have Ken Dodd return to Blackpool. Ken played Blackpool for 60 years. He played the summer season every year. He played the Grand Theatre for many years. And to have Ken's stuff here is absolutely fantastic. He'd be over the moon.
There's something about the Grand Theatre. He loved the Grand, didn't he?
He did, absolutely. And thinking back to the early to late 70s, the Grand nearly got demolished. And without people like Ken getting together to save the theatre, we wouldn't have a Grand Theatre for Ken to have performed in. He got together, he did midnight matinees for free so that the cash could roll in so that they could stop the demolition.
And those shows went on forever, didn't they?
Ken's shows were known for going on forever. He'd be on stage till well past midnight, most Sundays in October when he performed with us.
The exhibition opens at a time when Blackpool is bidding to become the UK's city of culture. Entertainment has been the cornerstone of what the town does for 200 years, and council leader Lynn Williams says that needs recognising.
Well, I mean, it really highlights, that heritage, but I think also, obviously the work that Showtown does, the breadth of that entertainment history that, that Ken was very much, a part of. So we're really proud of that entertainment heritage. But we need then now to build on that and take that into the future. Well, particularly our young people, to be proud about the heritage and what Blackpool means to people.
Guest of honour at the opening was Ken's widow, Lady Anne Dodd. She says Blackpool holds some very special memories for her.
Well, it has really. I just loved every time we played here. I mean, I was here during the seasons he did with little big shows at the Opera House, Blackpool. Fantastic, twice nightly, 3,000 people. And I remember him being interviewed fairly recent, in his later years about what it was like playing to 3,000 people in that theatre just like that. It's all right having arenas. This is one stage, one person. And he said, when you got the laughs, it was great. And he used to tell gags, there's a sort of series of gags there might be, and the last one of a little group would be the one that would make them rock. And they would go back in the seat and rock backwards and doing this movement back forwards. And when you see 3,000 people all rock forwards at the same time, it's as though they're going towards you. He described that, and can you imagine?
He used to say, you could play that audience, couldn't he, and just hold him in the palm of the hand.
Yeah, he did. I just don't know how he did it. But he did used to say it was very big, the theatre, and you have to remember, you've got to play to the whole house. The important thing is always always look at the lights that are there, because otherwise the people down here, they're going to miss you. He said, yes, you have to play an audience too.
He held Blackpool in such high regard, didn't he? I mean, I saw a video of him the other day at Seaside Special in 1975.
Oh my gosh!
When he was down at the tent at the Pleasure Beach, yes, live on BBC One.
That's right.
But he came back again, of course, because his Grand Theatre shows are just legendary.
They're lovely, yes, absolutely. The Grand Theatre is so gorgeous. It's such a beautiful theatre, and it had to be saved, and it was all the friends who did that really over the years, and then so many volunteers do help on running it as well. It's very important. All theatres should have groups of friends because they're invaluable, but we just love playing it. And it was his last show at the Blackpool Grand was, I think, 1st November, something like that, 2017, and then he played a few shows that December, and then his very last show is in Liverpool the end of December, and he passed away in the March, so it did really work right the way through.
Spencer Phillips is the chairman of Blackpool Heritage and Museum Trust. He's hosting the exhibition at Showtown, and he's a big fan of Doddy.
I mean, an icon of Blackpool, an icon of British comedy, a man that loved the people of Blackpool and the tourists and the people of Blackpool, and everyone else loves Sir Ken.
It's one of those things, isn't it? I mean, he is an adopted son of the town, certainly, but he always held the town in such very high regard himself.
Absolutely, and people in Blackpool and people who visit Blackpool, they come for a good time. they do love their comedians, and he connected with them. And we've got a rich heritage. And we have Mick Miller with us today. We obviously had Cannonball. We had Little and Large. There's that great legacy of comedians that played Blackpool, but Ken stayed here throughout his career, from the very start right the way through to the end. And I first worked with Sir Ken back in 1986, and he was filling 2 shows a night then every theatre he went to, and he did it right the way through. And again, a phenomenon to be able to sell that many seats and fill those theatres.
So much Ken Dodd memorabilia, so many memories. The Ken Dodd Happiness Exhibition is on at Showtown until the end of the year.